Okay, so over the past 3 days, there's this Peugeot 407 with EW12 J4 engine, the 3FY version with automatic transmission that one technician brought to me. And the history behind the car is that the owner, I don't know when he got the car, but has been moving the car from one workshop to another. I'm spending so much, and because for what he told me that he knows about the car when the man bought it, but I didn't bother to ask when. So they've been moving and changing so many components, and the issue is that the car refuses to accelerate properly. They changed the motorized throttle body over and over and over. I'm not sure I got him right, but he said the man at a point even had to, because the new one, he couldn't get a new one, had to order one from I don't know where, whether it was a brand new one or so. Mounted it, thinking that all the used ones they've been putting, something was wrong with them. Because it's a 3FY MTB, which you can't easily get new in Nigeria. So maybe order it from outside Nigeria. Anyway, still the issue remained. It doesn't enter leaf mode, but then the acceleration doesn't go. In fact, I think it doesn't even go beyond 3,000 or even because when he bought the car, the way he accelerates shows it's not a leaf mode or motorized throttle body issue. So anyway, I did the diagnosis and issue for what immediately what it showed was the accelerator pedal. Talking about this one, this. So so I quickly checked and forgetting the definition of the code, but from what he was suggesting, it wasn't like the pedal had a fault. It was showing something about resistance. I don't know. I don't have. Unfortunately, I didn't snap the scan report with me. I wrote it down and gave the technician. So anyway, however, I was like, okay, it doesn't matter. Let me just get another accelerator pedal for the vehicle. So I got one and fix it, and same issue. So that's when I knew it has nothing to do with accelerator pedal. That has to do with the wiring of the vehicle. Now, why did I come to this? The car was originally a right-hand drive vehicle converted to left-hand drive vehicle. So meaning something probably was wrong with the conversion electrically when they were swapping. For example, right hand drive vehicle means the pedals will be here. So while moving it, converting it to left hand drive, you have to move it to the left side of the vehicle. And so I don't know what happened. But I knew the only way to find out what's going on is to pull the dashboard. So I now had to take my hands off and suggested to the technician to find somebody to pull down the dashboard and check all the connections, everything under there, because the two connectors on the pedal, we are all well fixed in. However, I still suggested something was wrong. In fact, at the point I thought maybe it was the position, because they didn't position the pedal properly. In fact, they used the right hand drive pedal assembly to do the conversion instead of using the left hand drive. So because of that, the way they positioned this was facing this side. The brake pedal facing this side wasn't actually a good it looked horrible, and it sounds something that one could drive and feel comfortable. Anyway, so it was done. They put the dashboard and eventually they found one connector. There's no how you see it if the dashboard did not come down. So one of the connectors, I don't know, was disconnected. The male and female of the two wasn't connected. So the owner obviously bought the car in that condition. Probably, I don't even know whether it was, honestly. So for however long, maybe a year, 2 months, I don't know, have been using the car that way without sanity, and they've been moving from one way, this, not knowing that the issue was as a result of the conversion done. and he has wasted whoever knows how many hundreds of thousands. And you could imagine the car, because this car was at this workshop for about a week before this technician now called me and said, please come and see whether we can figure out what the issue is. So eventually it was the person that pulled the dashboard. They got another electrician involved. They now started checking all the wires one after the other, because they had to take the car to another workshop that I don't know of. So the technician now called me and said, you know what, you are right. There's a connector on the dashboard that was not connected during the conversion or whatever, and the accelerator pedal refused to work. Well, so like I posted in my last article, which like I stated in the last article I published or shared on my YouTube channel and the other platforms, you know, when you buy a converted vehicles, there are things you are supposed to check. There are things you're supposed to know. There are things that are supposed to be able to live with if such cases happen. And that is, you can no longer diagnose these cars as factory. Remember, I put the factory this thing, I was suggesting something was wrong. So if it was a factory left-hand drive vehicle, from where because you could, there's no how your hand will get to that particular connector for it to even lose, because the wires are meant to stay there basically for good on that vehicle. All those wires under the dashboard, so you have no business touching them. So in that case, hold on guys, you will be forced to. So my point is, the diagnosis on them will no longer be as the factory design, have to diagnose them based on factory design. You have to now try to figure out what could be the problem. Physically start pulling everything out, start checking how was it was the issue as a result of conversion done or something else. So that's one thing you need to understand when you're buying a converted car. So my advice is, do a thorough access of the vehicle. As long as you are aware that the car was converted from one engine to another, from one gearbox to another, from right hand drive to left hand drive, don't inspect the vehicle like you inspect a factory left hand drive vehicle. You have to go beyond the usual things you check, because so many things have been tampered. So you need to find out, when you scan such vehicles like the one converted from right hand drive to left hand drive, you need to know, does it show anything related to your pedal? If it shows, clear the fault, drive the car for a few kilometers, scan it again, or probably might not even need to drive, scan to see if the issue comes back. If it comes back, then it means the dashboard probably may have to come down. There could be other faults that may be related to wiring connectors under the dashboard or something that may not even be related to accelerator that may pop up. So in that case, you will have to find out if there's a need to build out the dashboard and find someone that can read it, because you could buy the car and only to realize that you keep going for one, spending hundreds of thousands of naira or thereabouts, be it, you know, for one workshop to another, trying to find a hidden, because it was a hidden fault which you cannot see unless you remove the dashboard. So that's my advice. Do your thorough investigation. I won't discourage anybody from buying a converted vehicle, because I would buy one if I see, if it's a car I'm interested in, a model of Peugeot I'm interested in, even if it's converted from white, as long as it's clean enough, neat enough, and there's no abuse, as in, well, it could be abuse or anything, but not that bad. Yeah, I could buy it, but then that is me. I'm a technician, a Peugeot technician. I can always reverse, take my time, whatever, however it will cost, I'll do it, get it the way it's supposed to be. But can you do it if you are not a technician, or you don't have access to a good one that you can afford, that can do it? Can you? So are you willing to risk it? If you are not, then do your investigation thoroughly before you make that purchase. Make sure those things and some of these sensitive things were properly moved relocated during the conversion, or the right parts were installed, not just like this, that particular one, they use the right hand drive pedal assembly instead of the left hand drive, where since they are moving it to the left hand side, which is bad, made the pedal very uncomfortable to drive the car with. But that's the cause of not doing a thorough investigation or inspection before purchasing the vehicle. So but if you're not willing, if you know you're not, you don't want to go through all those things, that it's not something you want to live with, that at any point an issue might come up as a result of the conversion done, then don't buy one. Buy one that is factory left-hand drive, or factory, the engine recommended for your vehicle, that is still there, the gearbox the same, the wiring connections, everything the same. Then buy, so that anyone can be able to diagnose the vehicle without messing with the system. All you need to plug in scan to check physically the normal usual way you're supposed to check, when you are dealing with a car that is still stock. But once you start converting, start modifying, it changes. You can't be able to tell what exactly is wrong. By the time someone might figure it out, you must have spent fortune, and the emotional, how do I even put it? Because it can be very draining. Imagine your car is staying at the workshop 5 days in a week, or every now and then you are spending, changing this. I mean, it's not just whether you can afford it. It's going to be horrible. Horrible. I mean, you feel so bad that sometimes some people end up scrapping the vehicle, just to get some sanity. So be very careful. I may be sounding like I don't know what I'm talking about. Until you get into that mix, then it makes sense to you. So have a car thoroughly checked before you buy. Like I said, I will buy. If I see a very clean car that is, even whether it's converted from one engine to another, or this and that, or from right hand drive to, I will still buy, as long as I'm okay with what I found. But then I know I can afford, I'm capable of fixing it, reversing it, or making it right. But like I say, can you do it? Can you afford to do it? Do you have the time? Do you have the resources to put it right if something is wrong? Are you willing to own the vehicle even if such issues may come up, something that might be hidden may come up in future, and no one will be able to figure out what the issue is, probably because it's hidden somewhere, a connection or a wrong part used during the conversion. So you have to be willing, know these are the risks to face if you are going for that, or at least have the car thoroughly checked, so that at least okay, fine, even if something, it might not be something major, even if there's a hidden fault somewhere that is not showing up at the time of the inspection, then it means it can't be a major something that will disrupt the proper functioning of the car. I hope this makes sense.